Welcome to the second of our two Dino Park tutorial videos. Please ensure you've completed all of the steps in the first video, as this video follows directly on from it. Welcome to the second of our two Dino Park tutorials. We're going to add some dinosaurs and some information stone tablets to our second scene. So let's click on the scene button at the bottom and move to scene 2, and we will see that it is blank. First thing we need to do is to import our assets. So I'm going to click on Image, I'm going to click on Browse Media Library, and I'm going to bring in 3 dinosaurs and the stone tablet information files which accompany them. Now they will take a minute or two to upload. Please don't try and use all of the dinosaur images because you only have a 50 megabyte file size limit, and you will very quickly exceed that if you try to bring in even more assets. Okay, so they have now uploaded. So I'm going to close that off. Let's bring in the first of our dinosaurs. So I'm going to bring in the T-Rex first of all, and I'm just going to drag it from the 3D models library into there. Now that is obviously far too big, so let's drop that down to about a height of about 15, or let's make it even smaller, let's make it 10. Okay, and as before I can position it using the arrows here to move it up, down, left and right, and also on the Z axis. So I'm actually going to change the Z axis here to 0 so that our T-Rex is right at the center of the image. Let's call in the next one. I'm going to call in the pterodactyl next. Obviously this is your project and where you place them is up to you. So I'm going to make the pterodactyl, let's go for 7. There we go. Now there is an element of trial and error in the positioning. I'm just going to center it that way. And I'm also going to center it on the Z axis. So again, it's quite far back. And then finally, I'm going to bring in our final one, the Brachiosaurus. Okay, again, far too big. So I'm going to drop him down to 15 as well. He can be a little bit bigger than the T-Rex, and I'm going to change the Z-axis on there to 0. Okay, so let's move him up a little bit just so that he's basically in line with the T-Rex. Yeah, it's close enough. So there will be a little bit of trial and error involved in this. Let's just make sure that it fits onto the screen by pressing on the button there, and we can see that actually my Brachiosaurus is not quite in the right place. So using the red arrow, just bring him in a little bit there. That'll do. That's good stuff. Okay, back to the augmented reality. Now a little bit later on, we are going to be animating the dinosaurs so that when we tap on them, they move to the front, and then when we tap on the stone tablet with the information on, they return to their original position. So because of that, we need to make a quick note of the position of each one. So I've clicked on my T-Rex, grab a pen and paper, and you will need to make a note of these position coordinates. Now obviously yours are going to be different to mine, so we need those for the T-Rex. You need to get the position coordinates for your second dinosaur, and you'll need to get your position coordinates for your third dinosaur. So make sure you write those down carefully and keep them in a safe place. We'll be using them in a few minutes. We're now going to add the stone tablets with the information on about each dinosaur. We uploaded those in the last step, and there they are. So when we click on a dinosaur, we want the stone tablet to appear with information about it. So I'm going to bring in the T-Rex one first of all. Okay, it's about the right size. I'm just going to center it on the x-axis, so it is in the middle there. I'm quite happy where it is in the y-axis. But on the Z-axis, I want it to come really quite far forward. Okay, so there we go. That should be about right. Just make sure it fits into our phone. It does, which is perfect. Great stuff. We now need to make sure that all of our other stone tablets are brought into exactly the same position. So using our pen and paper again, we are going to make a note of those different coordinates, so that when we bring in the other stone tablets, they are also in exactly the same place. So I've done the T-Rex. Let's bring in the pterodactyl. So I'm going to drag that in. With it still selected, I'm going to type in the same coordinates that I just had for my first tablet. And Z-axis 27.96. Okay. So don't worry that we can't see the first tablet. It's absolutely fine because we're going to hide these until needed. So the final one is our Brachiosaurus. Again, it doesn't matter where we drop it in because we are going to override the coordinates anyway. Minus 9.6 meters. Don't forget yours will obviously be different coordinates to mine. Okay, so at this point I have all of my tablets, but they're all in exactly the same position, so I can only see the last one that was brought in. Let's add some interactivity. I want it so that when we tap on one of the dinosaur scales up to become much larger and moves to the center of the screen. So I've just clicked on my T-Rex, and in the sidebar here I'm going to go down to Actions. I'm going to click Add New Action, and when it says No Action Set, I'm going to click on there and I'm going to animate the object. So making sure that the object is the correct one here, so T-Rex 3D. I'm going to make sure that my animation is set to move, and we are going to move to 0, 0, and we're going to have the Z index there much further forward. So if I change that to 16, that should bring it quite far forward, but not in front of the stone tablet. And I'm going to press the loop counter there to change the loop to once. And if I press the play button there, we can see that it moves forward. Now it's still a little bit small, so I'm going to add a new action to scale the dinosaur up. Okay, so I've just clicked on new action, and I'm going to go and add animate object again. And this time, ensuring I've got the correct object set, I'm going to change it to scale. And I'm going to set the scale multiplier to 4 and the loop count to 1 again. Now if I press this preview animations, it will preview both of them at the same time. So if we click that, we can see that our T-Rex suddenly gets much bigger. We'll do that for each of our dinosaurs. So on the pterodactyl there, I'm going to click Add New Action, No Action Set, Animate Object. Again, I'm going to move it to 0, 0, and I'm going to change that to 16. And set the loop count to 1 to make sure that works. Yeah, pretty happy with that. So he's swooping down. We're going to add another new action. Again, we're going to animate the object. We're going to make sure the pterodactyl is set. We're going to scale it. Let's change it to 4, and we're going to loop forever. So let's preview that animation. Yeah, nice and big, fantastic. And then the same for our final dinosaur here. So tap on him. Add new action. We are going to animate object. We're going to move to 0, 0, 16. Again, yeah, we can change these. This is your project, not mine. Add a new action again. Animate object. Make sure the correct object is set. We're going to scale it. Scale it to 4. Make sure a loop count is set to 1 and preview it. And there we go. Oh, he's possibly a little bit big there, so let's change that. Let's move him back a little bit there to 10. Okay, so we can see he's kind of going through the sign there. Let's change that to 7. Okay, we are getting there slowly. He's also definitely going to go off our screen. Okay, so he's going off our screen, so we might want to change some of the coordinates here a little bit. So let's just click back onto move, and we'll have him moving down by, let's say 15. Let's see how that goes. Or should that be minus 15? Yeah, more like it. Okay, so you can see we do have to have a little bit of a play with these just to make sure that they are working correctly. But that's all part of the fun. So position your dinosaurs and then have them coming towards the user when they are tapped. When we tap on the dinosaur, we want the information tablet to appear and it needs to be the one which is relevant to that dinosaur. Now at the moment they're all there at the same time, they're all on top of each other, and they are there whether we want them or not. So we can go into the layers option here, and this will give us a list of all the different layers in our project. This is a little bit like Photoshop if ever you've used it. So hovering your mouse over each one shows a little lock button and an eyeball. And if I click on the eyeball, we can see that each one of those vanishes. Okay, so turn them all off. If I click on the T-Rex one, we can show it again and hide it. So make sure that you hide all of the stone information tablets. We've already set our dinosaurs so that when we tap on them, they move to the front and they scale up. Okay, so it looks like they're coming towards the user. But we also want to show the information tablet relevant to that particular dinosaur. So we're going to add to the actions list for each one. So with my first dinosaur selected, my T-Rex in my case, I'm going to go back to the actions section here, click add new action, and this time I'm going to tap toggle visibility. The action behavior here should be show, because we want to show the tablet, and it's important here that we select the correct object. So it's the T-Rex and it's the T-Rex info I want to show. So T-Rex info 2D. Click on that one there. Okay, and that means that once we tap on the T-Rex, it will move the T-Rex, scale the T-Rex, and it will show that particular layer. Let's do the same for the pterodactyl. So I've clicked on that one. I'm going to click add new action, toggle visibility, make sure that show is selected, and make sure that it is the pterodactyl info which will be shown. And then finally my brachiosaurus, exactly the same, add new action, toggle visibility, make sure the action behavior is set to show, and make sure it is the brachiosaurus info which is set to show. So when we preview our project and we tap on a dinosaur, that dinosaur will move to the front, okay, it'll scale upwards, and it will also show the information tablet that accompanies it. We've set up each dinosaur so that when it's tapped, it moves to a new position, scales to a larger size, and shows its information tablet. We're now going to add actions to each stone tablet so that when it is tapped, the dinosaur is returned back to its original size and position, and the tablet is hidden again. So in order to add these actions so that when we tap a tablet, we need to first be able to see it on screen. Okay, so I've clicked on my scene objects, and I'm going to start with my T-Rex, and I'm going to click the eyeball to unhide it, and that will show me the tablet. Let's add some actions to it. So the first action I'm going to set is to hide that particular tablet again. Okay, so we're going to go to toggle visibility, we're going to click on hide, and it's really important that we make sure we've got the correct tablet selected. Okay, so when we tap on it, that tablet is going to vanish. Let's add a new action. So this one is going to animate the T-Rex back to its original position. So let's make sure we have the T-Rex selected. And this is where you're going to refer back to your original notes with the sizings and positions on. This one doesn't seem to want to work. So that's 0. And remember to set the loop count back to 1. And then finally, we are going to add another animator action. Make sure we've got the T-Rex selected again. This one is going to scale, and we are going to leave it at the default, which is 1.5, and the loop count as 1. Now, annoyingly, we can't preview this particular animation because it's starting from a different point, but it will work. Okay, so we've done that first one, so now we can hide that one again, and let's move on to the pterodactyl. Okay, so clicking the pterodactyl tablet, I'm going to add a new action, and once again I'm going to hide this particular tablet, so toggle visibility, hide, and select the pterodactyl info, and let's put the pterodactyl back to its original position. So let's go to animate object. Okay, make sure we've got the pterodactyl selected, and we are going to move it to its original position, which was in my case 0, 11.12, and 0 on there as well. Remember to set the loop count to 1. And then finally, we are going to scale it back to 1.5. So animate object, pterodactyl 3D. We're going to set that to scale. 1.5 was correct, and we're going to set the loop count to 1 so it doesn't keep on playing. Now we can hide the pterodactyl stone tablet again and do the Brachiosaurus. So let's unhide that. Click the tablet, exactly the same before. We're going to add a new action to toggle the visibility to hide it. Okay, this one's set correctly. We're going to animate the object. Let's make sure we have the correct 3D object selected. We're going to move it back to its original coordinates. And on there was 27.96. And remember to set the loop count to 1. And then finally, exactly the same as before, animate object. Make sure we have our Brachiosaurus 3D selected, whichever dinosaur is your third one, and scale it back to 1.5 and set the loop counter back to 1. And finally, remember to hide it again. And that is our project complete. So when our project starts, okay, it's going to start on scene 1, and the Dino Park logo and the tap to enter will be shown with the gates moving towards you. Tapping on it will show our 3 dinosaurs. Tapping on a dinosaur will move that dinosaur to the front and show the information stone tablet. Tapping on the information stone tablet will then remove it and return the dinosaur back to its original position. Now there are a few extra things that you should want to do now, or may want to go, and a few tips as well. So first of all, keep previewing as you go along. It's important to check your work at regular intervals to make sure it works. Now there is a slight flaw in this, in that when our dinosaurs move back to their original position after the tablet has been tapped, they don't move back nicely, they just jump back to the original position. Now you could improve your project by overcoming this, but it's a little bit tricky. I'm going to give you a hint here. You'll need additional scenes for each dinosaur which has been selected. So when you tap a dinosaur, it will move, and then it's going to jump to a new scene containing the information. That's all I'm going to tell you about how to do that. There are also a couple of other things you could overcome. So what will happen if a dinosaur is moved to the front and the user clicks another dinosaur? How could you overcome this? Are there any other interactive features you could add, such as which sort of food they eat? And possibly source some sounds. So it'd be really cool if clicking a dinosaur made it raw. I hope you've enjoyed using this project, and I hope you have some fun making your own dinosaur projects moving forward as well. It does provide many of the tools that you need in order to complete your coursework, but not all of them, and obviously your coursework is unique each year, but we hope you have fun doing it. And remember, loads of resources are available at computerrevision.net for all of your assignments and your revision for R050 as well. Thank you for listening.